هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله ورضي الله عن أصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Give thanks and praise to Almighty Allah who saw us to be able to gather again in this manner. It was difficult in the past 2 years, but with the help of Allah, inshallah, we are gaining the momentum to be able to gather again and see each other face to face and do our ibadah as we used to do it. May Allah make it continue like this. Salam. We are in the month of Safar. When we say Safar, all minds will go to one point, especially Tijanis. Maulana Sheikh Ahmed Tijani radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, who is Khatmul Wilaya, Sultanul Wilaya, Babul Wilaya, Iftar. He is Khatmul Wilaya because he is the one who said, Hadamani Hazani ala rahabati kulli awliya. I have placed my 2 feet on the neck of all awliya. When one of his cousins heard him say that, and that is Muhammadul Hajj, said, don't you think you are intoxicated with your hal, the spiritual intoxication? Don't you know that Abubakar has said something like that? Why should we say so? He said, yes, when Abubakar was saying it, he was referring to the awliyas of his time. And he placed his foot on the neck of the awliyas of his time. What I say, Hadabani Hathani, ala rahabati kulli awliya miladun adama ila nakhatij. So what I said is, I placed my 2 feet on the neck of all awliya, from the creation of Adam till Yom al-Qiyam. No awliya before me has attained my Maqqam, and after me there will come no awliya who will reach my Maqqam. That's why he is Khatmul Wilaya. He is Sultanul Wilaya because he is the one who makes the awliya to the awliya. The portfolio of appointing awliya is given to him. The Haqqatul Muhammadiyah, which is Rasulullah, which is Khatimul Nubuwah, has transferred the secrets and the mantle to Haqiqatul Ahmadiyah. In the station of Haqqatul Ahmadiyah is where Maulana Tijani dwelt, and he was given the authority to appoint awliyas. That's why he is Sultanul Wilaya. All the awliyas of Allah will pass through him. If any, like all the prophets have paid allegiance to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but all the awliyas of Allah also will pay allegiance to Sheikh Tijani radiyallahu ta'ala. That's why he is Sultanul Wilaya. He is Babul Wilaya, the door of Wilaya. Same as before you reach Wilaya, you have to pass the door of Wilaya. That reminds me of the so-called people who contradict our tariqah. One of the contradictors said, he is an awliya of Allah. And people respect him for that. Anytime after Asr prayer, he will come out and try to give lectures to people. People respect him. Said, many of them told him, Alhamdulillah, he was an awliya of Allah. Until one day, he wants to challenge the tariqah. When he saw the muridis, after Asr, they hold their tasbih. They said, a Tijani, after Asr, Tijanis are all found dumb. And he asked them, what are you guys doing? So we are doing, we have to do it. So are you so-called Tijani, those Tijani? He said, yes. He said, what you people are claiming your sheikh to be, I don't think your sheikh is that. The Muridi said, why? He said, because for me, I have entered Khalwa. All of you know Khalwa. Seclusion. For Allah to reveal to me the awliyas of Allah, He created all the awliyas of Allah. He said, Allah showed me a house built with gold called Yakut, the richest and the most expensive gold. And they were calling the awliyas of Allah to enter that door. They called up to all the awliyas of Allah, it's finished, but I didn't see your awliya, your Sheikh Tijani, and he was not called. So what do you say to that? So the Muridis could not answer. They went to their Sheikh and related the story to him. The Sheikh said, oh, subhanallah, Allah has revealed that man. Even me, with my good perception and interest, I told that he's an awliya, but he is not. The guy said, why? He said, I didn't say, he's the one who said that he's not an awliya. But you wait, tomorrow we will go there. Tomorrow, the next day, after Asar, he came with his tasbih to show him that I am one of them. When the guy comes, everybody respect him, give him shit. He said, are you also those Tijani? He said, oh yeah, I am one. He said, did your boys tell you what I told them? He said, what did you tell them? Then I said, your Sheikh was not called because I saw a house built with Yaqut and they were calling the names of all the awliyas of Allah to enter that house, but your Sheikh was not called. Sheikh Tijani was not called. He said, Alhamdulillah, that all of us today, all this gathering here, have the good mind that you are an awliya of Allah. But Allah has revealed that you are not. The people say, why? He said, no, I didn't say, he's the one who said it. He said he entered Khalwa to pray for Allah to show him the awliyas of Allah. Allah showed him a house of Yaqub. And they were calling all the awliyas of Allah until they are finished. And he didn't see our Sheikh. You know why he didn't see our Sheikh? Because he is not among the awliyas. If he was among the awliyas, he would have been called in the house. And if he called in the house, he will find out that there is a caller. That caller is Sheikh Tijani. Because that's why you are outside, you cannot see the caller inside. If you are an awliya of Allah, you will have been called. See, people who try to contradict, do not fight, do not quarrel. Listen to them. For them, they entangle themselves. That's why he is Babul Wilaya. The door and the entrance of Wilaya. Nobody can reach Wilaya without passing Sabarati, and it has been given to him. Look, people will say, are you limiting the authority of Allah? That he cannot give somebody else what he has given Sabarati? Why? That's limiting Allah's authority. The answer is very simple. There are two things that we need to remember when you talk. Leave two things in mind. The Allah's authority and Allah's desires are two things. Allah has His sovereignty, His authority. The authority of Allah can do anything, everything. But He has His desires to do and to undo. The authority of Allah could do anything. He could have bring somebody who is more than Rasulullah. For his desire do not agree with it. He could have brought somebody who is higher than Sheikh Tijani. The authority can do it, but the desire don't want to do it. You see, so the desire is always pertaining to those who choose. He choose. That's why you have these 5 stations, and there cannot be 6. There cannot be more. There cannot be less. It is Hahud, the ilahiyatu of Allah. It is Lahud, the Haqqatul Muhammadiyatu of Haqqatul Muhammad. You have Jabarut, that's the Haqqatul Lahmadiyya, where Sheikh Tijani were. You have Malakut, that's where Haqqatul Fayd, our Faydu, dwell. Sheikh Ibrahim. And then you have Nasur, the masses. These are the 5 stations. It couldn't be more. Allah could have done more, but no, the desire done that. That's why Sheikh Tijani is Babul Wilaya, but he is Miftahul Wilaya. He is Markazul Sir. All the secrets of Haqqatul Muhammadiyah was passed on to him. You know, the Prophet closed Nubuwwah. And he, the Prophet who closed Nubuwwah, is the same man who opened Wilaya. But this is a high technique. This is a high spiritual. We have to know. The one who closed is the one who opened. See, so it's just the image and the shadow. That's why he is Babul Wilaya. And he's Miftahul Wilayah. If you didn't open the door for you of Wilayah, you wouldn't enter it. This man, Sheikh Ahmed Tijani, he was born in 1735 AD, which is Aman Naqsin in Al-Hijr, Aman Naqsin, 1150. Al-Hijr. Sheikh Ahmed Tijani was born. His father was called Abdullah, Muhammad. Muhammad is Abdullah. His mother was called Amina. Muhammad. Amina. His fifth grandparent, Muhammad, said, don't call me Muhammad, call me Muhammad. Is the one who first lived in Ainamad. His fifth grandparent is Muhammad. Muhammad is the one who is the father of Ahmad. Ahmad is the father of Muhtar. Muhtar is the father of Muhammad. Muhammad is the father of Sheikh Tijani. He is the first one who lived in Ainamad. Sheikh Tijani memorized the Quran at a very early age, at the age of 7 years. He memorized it. In the age of 21 years, he has acquired all the different type of knowledge. That's why when we say Khatmu and Khatmu, when we say the successor of Sheikh Ahmed Tijani is the one who is the owner of the Faida, then you ask me why. I ask you the secret of this. Sheikh Ibrahim, 7 years he completed the Quran, 21 years he recited Rule Adab, and all the knowledge of the ulamas he got. Just like Sheikh Tijani. Radiallahu ta'ala anhu. This Sheikh Tijani radiallahu ta'ala anhu, you know, when there are signs and symptoms, when you want to gain something, you know, the signs will be there. People will curse you, will know something is about, even Rasulullah, the signs were there. When Khadija assigned Maisaratu to go with him to the trade, he was just trying to confirm the signs. Seeing the cloud giving him shade, seeing the tree move to his side, seeing everything bowing for him. These are signs. Sheikh Tijani radiallahu ta'ala anhu, also his Quranic teacher was the one who called Sheikh Mabruk. Sheikh Mabruk taught him Quran. The other books of knowledge, he has a sheikh we call Sayyidi Isa Borakas. Sayyidi Borakas is the one who dreamed reciting the Quran in the presence of Allah. In the version of Was, the Was version. He dreamed reciting the Quran in the Was version in the presence of Allah, and Allah said to him, this is the way it was revealed to us. He is the one who taught Sheikh Ahmed Tijani radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He got many sheikhs. Look, today in this generation, we are in a hurry to become a sheikh. It's not easy to be a sheikh. Sheikh Ahmed Tijani refused to be called sheikh until when the Prophet appeared to him. But today, if you don't call me sheikh, I become angry. Or I have one follower, I start drinking attire and putting my cap, and then I want you to call me sheikh. Do you know what a sheikh is? Sheikh is the person who has accomplished the haqiqah and the sharia, blend together. It's a sheikh. But today, most of our muqaddams are the people who spoil the tariq, because they are in a hurry to be popular, and you haven't got the proper knowledge. Sheikh Tijani held on to many sheikhs. Sheikh Daha, who taught him al-Mu'ruf. Letters. Do you know all these letters are pertaining to something? Alif, Ba, Ta. All of this is talking to you. Do you know your letters? You are letters. That's why Sheikh Ibrahim said, Kuntu Hurufan. Aliyah. For us too. We are letters. The letters that form us, very simple. 5. So Ilmul Uruf is something that you know. It's the Muhammad ibn al-Alwan Jalil is the one who told Sheikh Tijani that the Maqqam that you are seeking, you have surpassed that Maqqams long since. You see, brothers, let's not be mistaken. You can be a custodian of the Maqqam, you can have the Maqqam in you. But yet still, if it was not revealed to you, you don't have the authority to claim. And they said anybody who claimed to have a Maqqam that was not given to you, Allah will deny you that Maqqam. 1. 2, He will put the burden of that Maqqam on you. That is the danger of claiming something that you are not. As an example, a simple example, if I call myself today a millionaire boasting as a millionaire, everybody will run to me to seek for something. Why it is not there? It's not there. That is it. So what Maqqams are there? This one, Sheikh Ahmed Tijani was aspiring to be like Muhammad Sassali, the greatest khutbah of his time, Sassali. But when he met with Muhammad ibn al-Alwan Jalil, he told him, look, the Maqqam that you are seeking, you have surpassed that long thing. That man is under your feet. But because the time hasn't come for Allah to reveal it to him, so he was still a student, following other sheikhs, learning from them, knowing what they have. He went to a man called Abdul Rayani. From there he went to Muhammad ibn Jasani, Sayyidi Tayyib Kurdi, Abdul Samad Rawai, Muhammad Dasoki, Abdullah ibn Landarawi, Sidi Muhammad Kurdi, Muhammad Makkata Indowani. That is the man who told him, you are the one I was waiting for. The Maqqam that they give me is not mine. I was just keeping it for you. Come here and wait for me. I am going to die on the 20th of Idul Adha. When I die, beside my janazah, bury me and take your Maqqam. You are the one I was waiting for. This man was served by a Muridi for over 7 years, who was dedicated to him. When the Muridi heard that, he was disappointed. He went on to Sheikh Tijani went out. He went to the Sheikh and said, "Say, have I offended you in any way?" Sheikh said, "Never. You are the most diligent, most trustworthy of my Muridi. Are you not happy with me?" He said, "Why do you say I am happy with you?" He said, with all that, a stranger comes from nowhere, and you want to give him the Maqqam. He said, "My son, sit down, let me tell you. I swear by the one that created me, that Maqqam is not something we inherit. This is not mine. It is his. It was given to him by Allah from the Haqqatul Muhammadiyah. I was just waiting for him. But all the books of knowledge that I have and my own secret will be given to him. But the Maqqam is not mine. I was just a custodian waiting for the proper owner to come. But if I advise you, will you follow my advice as before?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Do not deviate from him. Follow him." He said, "Whenever you follow a hunter, you befriend a hunter, whenever he kills an animal, he will give you a share. So follow him. Do not deviate. If we are today, you will be angry and say, I won't go." But this man followed Sheikh Ahmed Tijani and he became a qutb. But he was shaking. That's Muhammad Makkata Indiwani and Abdul Karim Sama. All of these are sheikhs that Sheikh Ahmed Tijani taught. He hold on to the Khadiriya Tariqa. He hold on to Nasiriya Tariqa. He hold on to so different tariqas until in the year 1196. You know, Fathu, we have Fathul Mubin. You have different types of Fathu. You have Fathu where people seek Fathu now. That's what most of sects do now. You do secularism, takes the name of Allah. You recite, continue doing tarbiyah on that until Allah gives you fatwa, people come to you. Whether you know or you don't know, people will come. That's what we call fatwa. It's plenty now, you can see. But the nur is not there. The fatwa will be there, but the nur is not there. So if you see, you know. But the crowd will be there. And you will enjoy that crowd. There is another fatwa, will be called Fathul Mubin. This one, the nur will be there, but you will walk a little bit and struggle. Because you have to cross 72 stations, fragmentations of Haqqatul Muhammadiyah. It's not easy. Each station of Haqqatul Muhammadiyah has, like volcanic. The Arabs are a volcanic Arab. If you want to pass through the lightnings of Haqqatul Muhammadiyah, each station is like a volcanic. It can burn you, it can melt you. So these are the people who pass the 72 stations of the Haqqatul Muhammadiyah. Then you have the Fathul Akbar, which is Sheikh Ahmed Tijani. His first fatwa was he got in the 12th of Muharram in the year 1772 AD, and it is Al-Hijra 1187 Al-Hijra. That's when he got the fatwa. Then in the year 1773 Al-Hijra 1188 Al-Hijra, when he was 37 years old, he went to Mecca. Just imagine, like I say, Sheikh Ibrahim, at the age of 37, he went to Mecca. His first Hajj is at the age of 37. In 1937, he was 37 years. He went to Mecca. Then, after holding on to all these sheikhs, one day, as he was coming from Madrasa, he saw a light from his forehead. The light still went up to the heavens. And then the light, scattered around, and he saw the image. The image talked to him. Ahmed Tijani, do not deviate the way. The way you are following is the right path. Follow it. And the image disappeared. So he was terrified. He ran to his auntie. At that time he was young. He ran to his auntie to seek refuge. What happened to Rasulullah when Jibril came to Kharira? Ikhra, he cannot. He ran to Khadija. That's why our women are our comfort. Do not play with them. Let them also be good women who can comfort their man. Especially when they are on a spiritual journey. It's not easy. You have to have a good wife to be able to accomplish your spiritual journey. May Allah give us all good wives. He went to his auntie. The auntie was called Juhrum. And he narrated the story to him. He said, lie down here, lie down. It is a good thing that you saw. As he was saying that, a man knocked at the door. The auntie opened, he said, I have come to give idea to our sheikh. And that time was not. But this man got cursed. He just came and said, I have come to give idea to our sheikh. Ask him to accept my idea. Sheikh Tijani accepted the idea. And he was there until he calmed down. He went there. The next time he dreamed. Because dreams are like visions that come to you. Sometimes you will sit down just dozing and you see things. These are visions like that. So he was lying down and he saw the Prophet mounting a camel, riding a camel. And he followed him, he said, following him, intending to ask him a particular question or to ask him for something. But he said, for discipline's sake, I will wait until he dismounts the camel. Then I will come to him and ask him. Then the Prophet entered a big field, green, full of green grass. Then the Prophet dismounted the camel and then started praying. But Sheikh Tijani wanted to join him, but he could join him on his second rakah. First rakah, he could join him on the second rakah. Then, after he waked, then he realized the interpretation of his dream. That what he was seeking, the Maqqam he was seeking, he will only have in the second part of his lifespan. See, the first rakah was gone. So in the second rakah, dreams could be interpreted. Don't forget that Prophet Yusuf was given the skill of interpreting dreams, and they could become reality. He knows that his Maqqam, he is seeking for, he will attain it at the second part of his lifespan. And that is how he was 46 years. He lived for 80 years. So it was in the second half of his lifespan that he attained the Qurbaniyatul Husna. That was in the year 1196 Al-Hijr, which is 1781-80, around Zuhur time. Zuhur is powerful as well, just as Asr is powerful. Because Zuhur is the first salah that Prophet Muhammad prayed. Zuhur. When he was giving salah, he came, it was Jibril who came and showed him how to perform salah, and it was the Zuhur salah that they first prayed together. So around Zuhur, he was just sitting down, doing his will. All of a sudden, he feels the house trembling. And all of a sudden, an image appeared to him. It was Rasulullah. This was in Abi Samfun. Allah has blessed me, alhamdulillah. I've gone up to that point where the Prophet appeared to him. Still, the antics they are there. The bed that he used to lie down, though it was very, it is just these date trees that they cut together and make it a bed. And he will sit down on something like a platform, and he will have a string that they will tie on the wall and put a small pebble and put it around his neck, doing his zikr, so that when he wants to sleep, if he does, the pebble will jump in and he will wake up. That's why in our proverb in one of them, they said, they said, the one who is being assisted and helped. Sometimes you might look low upon somebody who is more fit and capable than you, but because you were helped. Just imagine, we were helped. Just imagine what Sheikh Ahmed Tijani suffered. Lying down on the palm trees, the date, how so hard. Sitting down on a hard thing, tying you on the so that you cannot sleep. How many of us will do that? And he will travel from Ainumadi to Abi Shamhon, is about 600 kilometers. And he will go with a horse. If you go to Algeria now, and you see however, with our development and technology, still now, if you are going to Abi Shamhon, it's a hilly thing. The car with air conditioner will run for over 4. It's like you are coming from Medina to Mecca. And he used to do that, go there in seclusion. When he got the harara to the spiritual heat, there was a lake there where he would plunge himself in to cool himself. When he enters the water will become so hot because of this body heat. There are some Maqqam. That's why those who claim for having Maqqam, they don't know what Maqqam is. Each Maqqam has its own things that go in. That's why Sheikh Ibrahim said, one day they asked him, somebody said my head, he said, I never knew that headache is not part of somebody. For me, since I knew myself, it's a headache throughout. I never knew that headache is not part of somebody's life. For me, it's part of my life. Since I knew myself, I was always with headache. That's why he used to drink pudding. You know, there was a tablet they called pudding. Pudding, yeah. Pudding was a very powerful tablet. Huh?
Pudding or pudding?
Pudding. C-O-D-I-N-E. Pudding is a tablet. He used to drink it. That's the only painkiller that can tranquilize him. In the end, the doctors deny him that do not drink pudding again. It's become too much to you. Because it's only pudding he can drink to calm down himself. Because the harara was there. The body heat was there. Everything was there in him. So you cannot stand those things. So we, calling ourselves sex and Maqqam, subhanallah. Sheikh Ahmed Tijani radiallahu ta'ala anhu. In the year 1196, Al-Hijr, in Abi Samfun, the Prophet appeared to him in broad daylight. Yahsatan, seeing him directly, The Prophet talked to him. دَحْكُلُ شِيُوقِكَ وَسَرْ أَنْتَ وَلَدِي حَقًّا أَنَا شَيْخَكَ وَمُرَبِّي. Leave, let go all the sheikhs that you held on to. It was just a passing phase. I am your actual sheikh. And I am your spiritual master. You are my son. That's the time, after that session with the Prophet, that's the time he accepted to be called Sarif and Sheikh. But before, no. He don't want to be called Sheikh, he don't want to be called Sarif. Because he said, I don't know how true it is. Do you know Sheikh Ahmed Tijani's lineage is 25 ancestors between him and the Prophet? I have written it somewhere. Anybody who master art or give it, write it and give it to your kids to be drinking, they will become Hafiz of Quran. 25 ancestors. It's from Hassan and Fatima. From Hassan and Fatima. That's where the lineage comes. Up to Muhammad the 50th. It's 25 ancestors between Sheikh Ahmed Tijani and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's good to know those names so that you can write it and give it to your kids. They become knowledgeable, inshallah. In 1196, then the tariqah started to come down. That's the time the tariqah started to enter. At first, he was using other zikrs. There are other salatus. No. There are other salatus. Salatu ala Nabi is plenty. Other salatus, and there are other kind of doing salatu to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam doing. Even there are salatu nari. All of these salatus is too much. But when Salatul Fatiha came, the Prophet revealed Salatul Fatiha because he said to him, the Salatu was not first revealed to Sheikh Tijani. It was first revealed to Sheikh Abubakar. Now, let's evaluate the power of Salatul Fatiha. Sheikh Abubakar went into a halwa for over 20 years for Allah to show him the best of Salatu ala Nabi. After 20 years, Allah revealed to him the wordings of Salatul Fatiha written in light. And the voice said to him, because you went into seclusion for 20 years and asked for the best of Salatu ala Nabi, this is the best of the Salatu ala Nabi, but the owner is yet to come. We give you the permission to use it, only you, but you have not been permitted to reveal it to nobody. That's why he was the only person who used Salatul Fatiha. And you know what he said? He said, Yom al-Qiyam, anybody who recites Salatul Fatiha once, Yom al-Qiyam, they want to put you into hellfire. Scold him and ask him your right, and he will put you in Jannah by force. He knows the power of Salatul Fatiha. But we are not in for that, because if you want to define Salatul Fatiha, those who are reciting Salatul Fatiha, it's just easy. But Salatul Fatiha has internal meanings. Fatihi Khatimi Nasir al-Hadi. All of this as Bahrul Tajaliyat. The Bahrul Tajaliyat of manifestations of the Bahr. And you come to a point where it goes Haka Kadirihi. And Salatul Fatiha is just like Fatiha. That's why Sheikh Ibrahim used to say, if I am reciting Fatiha and my tongue slipped and entered Salatul Fatiha, I won't stop. Even in Salah, I will continue. Fatiha is the male, Salatul Fatiha is the why? 5 names of Allah in Fatiha. Allah, Rabb, Rahman, Rahim, Malik. These are the 5 in Fatiha. If you go to Salatul Fatiha, 5 names of Rasulullah. These 5 names of Rasulullah correspond with the 5 names of Allah. Muhammad, Fatih, Khatim, Nasir, Al-Hadi. Each of these correspond with it. It's just like Ahud, Lahud, Jamarud, Malakut, Nasur. That recount with man. You are something that is that. You have to know who you are. You have Siru in you. You have Ruhu in you. You have Haqlu in you. You have Khalbu in you. You have Nafs in you. This is the composition of man. All this man is composition of this. Man should know himself. You should know yourself first. Discover who you are. Because you are full of cigarette, man. It corresponds to the Hahud. Lahud. Hahud is correspond to the siru of man. Lahud is correspond to the ruh of man. Jabarut is correspond to the hakhlu, mind of mind. Malakut is correspond to the halbu, the heart of man. And nafsu is correspond to nasu. That's why you have earth, fire, water, air. Subhanallah, man. Man. Who is man? تعرفوني قبل أن تعبدوني وإذا يعرفوني كيف تعبدون. You have to discover. That's why I say, if you know yourself, you know Allah. In short, you discover yourself, you discover Allah. So Fatiha comes, Salatul Fatiha comes, Salatul Fatiha, a Bahrul Tajalliya. One Salatul Fatiha is equivalent to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of another Salat. If you ask me why, I'll tell you, simple. All other Salatul Fatiha did not describe the Prophet. They just take salutation to the Prophet and they have Wasalim or Taslima. Except for Salatul Fatiha. Where did you see Wasalim or Taslima in Salatul Fatiha? No. Do you know why they brought Subhana Rabbika Rabbil Izzati Amma Yasifun? Wassalamu ala al-mursalin? That is Quran. But they came to close it for you. You know why? Because Sheikh Tijani, Salatul Fatiha was praising the Prophet, elevating him to a point where you might even think that he is taking Allah's position. Because Hakka Qadrihi. If you close in the house with the Sheikh to define what Hakka Qadrihi is, then you will say that where is Allah. But when he reached that Hakka Qadrihi, it seems like this time has it. Now are you putting him in my place? He says, Subhana Rabbika Rabbil Izzati Amma Yasifun. Glory be to you. If it were not for you, he wouldn't be elevated. Just imagine Subhanallah say Azra the Abdi. People said it cannot be possible for the Prophet to go to the heavens, to seven heavens, to see the throne, to all this time as quick as a twinkle of an eye. The place he laid down, still now the heat is there. The branch of the tree that Burah taught, still now the branch is shaking, and he got all this journey. Lead the Prophet in Baitul Muhammad, go to seven heaven, go to Sidratul Muntaha, go to Fawqa, go to Danna Fatadallah. Fasirun Salari Sirr Bisirri Wahdaha. Go to up to that point and come back and still the heat there. They said it's not possible, but they don't hear the ayah. They did not decode the ayah properly. What did the ayah say? Subhanallah asra bi abdi. Who are you glorifying? Are you glorifying Muhammad or are you glorifying Allah? You are glorifying Allah who took him. Muhammad did not take himself, they took him. So Allah could do anything. Let there be. Good for your Quran. Good. What is faster than that? So also the same thing that happens. That's why our Sheikh Ahmed Tijani radiallahu ta'ala, if you go to Salatul Fatiha, it elevates him to a point where it becomes like, if you don't know the notion properly, you say, where is Allah? Then, where is Allah? But then they said, anyway, Subhana Rabbika Rabbil Izzati Amma Yasifun. Wassalamu ala al-mursalin. Still there is no was.
Thank you for watching Sarkitv. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and hit the bell.